and welcome to our fabulous Feline Friday. We are here, and I am Venus, and here is Melijewel with us today as well. We are coming to you from across Canada, and we are sharing our friendship and our wisdom and our angel fairy lights with you. Melijewel is an author of children's books with illustrations that she makes herself because she is an artist, and she's also an author of a self-love adult book, and you can find those. We'll tell you in the links below if you want to go ahead and look at, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later. We're going to, oh yeah, we're also going to do a card reading, so stick around. We're going to talk about cleansing our crystals, and we got show and tell here. What did you want to say about that, Melijewel?
Am I doing the card reading?
Oh, right. We will be doing a card reading at the end, and we're talking about cleansing our crystals and charging our crystals.
Awesome. It's going to be so much fun. Venus is a psychic card reader and a channeler of angel messages from the celestial realms. She is a healing masseuse, and she is the best I've ever experienced. So if you're in the Vancouver area, you should definitely check her out. And she also makes healing oils that she sells, and you'll be able to find information on that at the end of the show and in the links below. Thanks so much for having me on.
Oh, yeah. It's always a pleasure and fantastic fun.
Mm-hmm.
We do have felines in our house.
Yes.
We are probably part feline.
I think so. I definitely resonate with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They like us. So today's
Tell us more about our topic today, Melijewel.
Yes, today's topic is going to be gemstones and how to cleanse them and charge them. So we're going to share different techniques that we have that we've practiced over our lives in terms of how we use our gemstones for how we cleanse them and how we charge them. So yes, Venus, do you have some suggestions that you'd like to share with viewers?
Yes, I do. So I'm going to demonstrate one right here. Now, I would say cold water is one of my favorite ways to quickly cleanse a crystal. So running it under cold water, but of course works in any sort of rushing river or cold water, like putting it in the ravine. Like I've put it in really cold mountain water. Like cold water really cleanses, does it quick. If you need to feel like, oh man, I need to cleanse it right now because of circumstances, you're like, whoa, don't ignore those instincts. Go ahead and clean it with cold water, because when you feel that, not out of paranoia, but out of acknowledging, oh, just like, you know, if a baby's diaper needs changing and you feel it, you feel like you sense it, go ahead and do it. That your crystals are like little babies, right? So this one here also, do you do that? Do you do that too, Melijewel?
Yes, I do.
You use the water, right?
Yeah, that's my favorite method.
Yes, it is quick too if you're feeling the need to, oh, I need to do this. But also you can take like salt water. So salt water, you can either pour it over, which I'm going to use another tool for that. Salt water is really good for cleansing, but it's also, salt is good for charging too, because it's full of minerals. Now don't just use your basic salt, use sea salt. Epsom salt can be good too, but you want the rich mineral salts. So Himalayan is really rich too. So this is a salt water that I've soaked in a lot of Himalayan, and then I'll just like pour it over top my crystal and then let it sort of bathe. See how it's kind of in, kind of out is good. And you can turn it, right? It likes that kind of, I don't know, it's like sitting it in the sun also is very cleansing, right? So salt, but not too much, because especially some, as you're probably going to mention, some crystals don't like any water or sunlight very well. You have to learn and know your crystal, but this one just loves being in the mineral bathing like that. And then if you set it outside, you might find little butterflies or something feel attracted to licking the salt too. Although they do tend to like sweeter stuff, or bees. But because it's kind of half in, half out, they like landing on it too, which can magically charge your crystal as well. So I love using salt water. Also, you could just submerge your whole crystal like inside of a jar, put it right in, right?
Right, yeah.
But you want to be careful, just sort of drop it along the side so you don't crack it right in half or something. And then you could set it like that, and it's really depolarizing, neutralizing. So say you got new crystals and you don't know, maybe the store owner was, you know, not doing good things with the crystals, or even subconsciously there was karma in there from however it got to you. You want to properly acknowledge and cleanse and clear any karma. And that's a good time to cleanse, and especially if we want a deep cleanse when you first get your crystals, to just make sure that there's no residual of anything and that you just get it clear and it's fresh. Soaking it in salt water is really good.
That's so awesome and so true.
Or you can also take it to the ocean and put it in the salt there. It lights that too, because it's just so full of rich minerals for charging, but also cleansing, right? Charging it once it's actually cleansed in the salt, it will start charging, because you're neutralizing any negativity, but then it's chalking itself full of minerals as well. So those guys are happy over there. Do you want to share one of your techniques and see if I do that?
Sure.
I don't want to take all the techniques up right.
You had mentioned that some gemstones don't like water, and angelite and celestite would fall into that category. Apparently, it can kind of wear them down faster than it would other stones. They're more porous. So you can take sage smudge, and I just have a little leaf here for a small demonstration, but you just want to burn it and hold the gemstone in the sage smoke, and that will clear it as well. So that's an easy technique. And you'll just get a feeling of when the stone feels cleared. At least I do. I just kind of get the sense that, okay, it feels like it's clear now. But yeah, that one, and you can do it with all your gemstones as an alternative. I mean, say you just got a new gemstone, like you were giving the example, and if you wanted to work with it right away and maybe didn't want to have to, let it soak for a while, that would be an alternative if you were feeling really urgent as a way to clear it quickly. But there's a few gemstones. Yeah.
This one I wouldn't put in the water very much at all. Selenite, do you?
No, I never do. Actually, I heard that selenite, I don't think does it need cleansing?
It actually doesn't need cleansing, but
Yeah.
I do feel drawn to smudging with it, and it's not because it actually needs cleansing, but I think it's like supercharges it something, like, because it's so powerful, and they don't really need cleansing. They are their own purity, and they are their own mineral, really strong selenite. And yet, if you feel like it, I don't know, if you did something with it, like if you practiced with it and you're like, okay, I want to just say that's complete. And then it sort of, it ceremoniously help you to be like, yeah, okay, I completed something there. And it supercharges the energy with smudging.
Totally. And then there are a couple other stones that don't need smudging. Citrine, that one is self-clearing. And so it's very potent that way. And kyanite also doesn't need any cleansing because it's self-clearing also. So when you know which gemstones don't require it, then you don't have to spend your time. Pyrite?
Oh, pyrite doesn't like the water.
Oh, right. So that would be another good one to smudge.
So, yeah, pyrite is the gold one, but what was that last one you were showing?
Oh, kyanite. It's sort of a bluishy. I don't know how well the color's picking up in the lighting, but it's sort of a very shiny bluishy with sort of white streaks through it. So yeah, it's a really lovely stone. Balances all the chakras and cleanses the aura, that kind of thing. So it's a feel good in your pocket kind of gemstone. But yeah, it is brittle, like it can break easily because it's just a bunch of like layers that are all just pressed together, but they can chip off. So you do want to be more delicate with that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I totally use smudging. Another one for smudging, I use sand. I always want to call it Saint Paul because it's Palo Santo. So, right? I always want to say it the other way around, but it doesn't matter which way you say it. Just burn it. It's so sacred. But it's a wood from like Ecuador, sacred wood, smells so really deeply cleansing. And so when you're cleansing your crystals with smudging, you're also just clearing your own energy and uniting with your stones as well.
Mm-hmm.
You're setting a standard for how you treat them. So that really merges your connection with them too.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
I like to give my stuff the salt water treatment about once a season. I will sort of just as the beginning of the new season's approaching, I'll put a very shallow bath with salt water in my bathtub, and I'll go around the whole house and I'll collect everybody and who belongs in water, and I'll just let them soak for about an hour, half an hour to an hour. I'll just get a feeling of when I go and check on them and they all feel really clean and purified, and I sort of set the intention that as they're cleansing, that they're just restored to their natural state, their natural potency and properties, for healing. So I like to do that every season. Some people suggest doing it once a month, but for a household, everybody in the house, including bracelets and everything, I like to do it once a season. And it's good because, as you were saying before, gemstones can eventually get imbibed with the energies that they've been around. So it's always good to give them just periodic cleansings.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're cleansing with them, then it's helping our energy. Just in the bathing or, having a salt bath with them even.
Yeah, I haven't done that, but that would be fun.
Yeah. And even if they're, that can also be charging. So if they don't need to be cleansed, the salt can also be charging them. But with smudging, it's really rare to feel that it's charging. It's often just cleansing and preparing for the next moment, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Some techniques for charging would be putting them in the windowsill in either the sunlight or the moonlight.
Yeah, sunlight. And sunlight is purifying too. It is a cleanser and a charger too. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And some stones don't like being too much in the sun either. So you have to watch that you don't just let them really, dehydrate out there. It's almost seems like their color will dissipate sometimes if you go too long or too hard in the sun.
That's true.
So yeah, but sunlight and moonlight. So I find that sunlight is more of a cleansing nature to them. And yet if you put it in like water or something, it tends to do a different kind of charge with the sunlight. But then when you put it in moonlight, it's cleansing too, but I would find more dominantly it is charging. Moonlight is more of a feeling of charging.
Totally.
And yet they're both cleansing. Moonlight, sunlight is all light and it's cleansing, but it's also feel like charging, right?
Totally. And for people who have studied Reiki, if you've done your Reiki level 2, you can cleanse a stone doing the second Reiki symbol, but you can charge the stone using the first Reiki symbol. So
Ooh,
So
big
yeah,
symbols.
Reiki for the cleansing and Chokure for the charging. And that's another nice quick technique. And you can also just
How do you
hold
do
them
that?
in. Well,
Symbol?
there's symbols that are taught in the Reiki level for people, in the second Reiki level for people who study Reiki. So it would look like that would cleanse it and that would charge it. But it's just a
Right, yeah.
done. So if you've been trained in that, you can use it on your gemstones as well as just holding your gemstones and intending, the energy also. Yeah, and that's a good way to connect with them. Mm-hmm.
I I have oh, I have a couple more. I have two more. Do you have any more? I have two more good ones
I
for
think those were the ones that I had.
you. What?
Here you go.
I
I
have
think that
another cleansing one
nice.
here. So this is really good. These bowls, right? These Himalayan Tibetan bowls vibrate, and I can just vibrate it, right? And it really cleanses the energy of the stones. You could specifically go over them, or just doing it in a room that's really like acoustic. You can feel how it really taps up their energy, and it also just, again, dissipates any negativity. And now I'm going to show you guys. Have you tried that? Have you tried the
Oh, I
Tibetan bowl?
don't have one, but I love the sound. It's so beautiful.
It's going to pop out at you, Tibetan bowls. There must be Tibetan bowls somewhere around that you're going to realize it's really potent tool to have,
Mm.
Tibetan bowl. Um, this is super powerful. So what I've done here is the crystal, right? Put my quartz there and put it in the salt crystal. So the Himalayan salt crystals are super popular, but they're actually very powerful. So they deserve to be super popular because they're just here to heal us and help us. And this one is, okay, so what happens when you put a crystal into a salt crystal? It creates a bubble, and it creates a huge wave of negativity and blocks huge wave of positivity, and it blocks huge wave to pushes out negativity. So negative thinking, negative addictions, this kind of stuff, like stuff that's negative just doesn't have any room dwelling where you're living. Or wherever you're charging specifically, wherever you want to put this. If you want to charge something up, you could charge up like a book that you're reading and be like, I want to understand, I want to know this book, or whatever you want to charge. Oh, put it on your health, something to do with health that you're healing, like something that symbolizes it, or energetically. It's not just mind. You could just set it down and let it do its thing. It's kind of like an air purifier in its own right.
I love that. I want to try that one. I haven't done that before.
It's very powerful. The most negative people have wild shifting experiences, like not most negative, but do you know what I mean? People who are normally feel negative and didn't understand about how to get rid of the negative or even notice what is negative, right? But they're just going along, and then their life just starts changing, and their positivity level comes up, and just deciding to have that, really helps with your intention. But at the same time, physically, like I learned that from a physicist, okay? Someone who deals with chemicals and he was really negative. He was like very like, when you're thinking scientifically, very like this. And he said that putting that together changed so many dynamics in his whole life.
Wow.
Especially in his living space and his marriage, like just a little. It was funny because he didn't, he thought, oh, this is good for us. It's going to protect us from radiation. He knew that. But he said it, in fact, started unlocking all this other stuff energetically. And he explains it in physics. Okay, so that's pretty cool to learn about crystals and knowing that people who think very analytically understand that these things are very powerful. So don't underestimate your crystals. And salt crystals are crystals too, right? But they're very cleansing. Again, they're self-cleansing. You obviously don't want to put them in water unless you're going to dissolve them. And then do you use Himalayan salts yet?
Yeah, I do. It's lovely.
Yeah, they're very powerful to have in the house. And so if you want to cleanse your crystal or you want to supercharge it or you want to supercharge your room, you start playing with them together. It's really fantastic energy. And then this is a concept, I think this is my last little tip. Yes. This is about soil. So soil is very charging, very rich with minerals. It can be cleansing, but what the biggest power it has is that, let's say you have a crystal like this one. Hold up, where's that? See, now it's getting actually less, it's getting thicker, but it was pretty clear. Like, see how it's pretty clear, right? It was even clearer than that before I put it in that crystal, right? It's starting to chalk up with minerals again. So when you put it like in soil, you could stick it in the soil like this to help it and just set it in there, even if it's not fully submerged, right? And it soaks up minerals, especially this one has like a lot of like, ooh, it has like little seaweed and gold flecks mixed into it. So rich soil is really nice. Or you could put it in with your plants and you could stick it, here I'll use a different one. Stick your crystal right in the soil, right? And bury it. And then also, this is a jasmine. So then whatever plant, the plant and the crystal, they start talking. It's very charging. I find that sticking them in the soil is more than anything charging. It enriches it. So like when you enrich your teeth, they look whiter and stronger. Well, often the crystals, they get stronger and less see-through. They're more opaque, less translucent. And then when you use them up and you use them up and they can clear and get pretty see-through. So then you want to put them in soil and charge them up. Even if they're just sitting like that is nice too. But if you really feel like they need it, put it in further. And those are my cleansing and charging crystal tips with you, Melijewel. Do you do soil too?
I have occasionally. It's one that I probably do the least, just because I don't think to do it very often. I usually think of the water. And another thing with water, you can also just hold it under cold running water at your tap too, if you need it to.
Star thinks that's a great idea with them.
Oh, yay. Hi, Star.
Flowers, don't eat them though, just smell them. You know what you're doing, don't you? She's just rubbing her face on the leaves. Okay, wait, what did you say? Sorry.
Oh, you can just hold it under cold running water at your tap as a really quick fix also, if you just had one stone that you wanted to charge. Just make sure you have a good hold on it. It's not too small. It's going to slip through your fingers and fit down the drain or something, but yeah, it's a quick one if you really had to.
And the more actively you're using them, like say as a practitioner, or not necessarily even when you're using them with other people or you're using them to practice, whether it's for business or not, like for a practice or just for because you are a healer and you're using your crystals and you're working with them, the darker stuff you're working with, like, because you know when we go in and heal stuff, there's dark stuff, right? So you want to keep your crystals bright and shiny, so you want to keep making sure you're praying and cleansing with them. So toning is good, right? Like you're using Reiki, but like oming over them and like just being like, yep, gotta, and checking in with them. What do they want? Oh, I think it needs a salt bath or whatever, you know. Or take them on a hike with you when you go somewhere, some sacred water, and put them in the lake by your feet, that kind of thing. Like always take them on adventures too. They like that.
They do.
So do we want to pull a card?
Yeah.
Card?
Yeah.
Did you? I pulled the card last time, so
yes.
you can pull the card this time.
Okay. I feel like the unicorns want to be part of this one.
Ooh, that should be a double selenite, I think.
Yes. So I'm just asking what message unicorns want us to know today concerning our gemstones and their care. And this one wants to come out.
Unicorns.
This one, it's interesting. It's a grandparent. You have a special bond with a grandparent that cannot be broken. So I'm thinking that in terms of what we're discussing today, there's an ancientness about connecting and caring for our crystals and gemstones that connects us to our roots, to our ancestors, to the earth itself. And it enriches our lives as we're taking care of our stones, as we're handling them, cleansing them. It's connecting us to the truth of the deeper parts of our lives and our connection historically with nature. In our modern day, we can so easily get distracted by just the way that we live, and we feel cut off from nature. So it's very healing for us to connect with nature again, and that ties us to our humanity and to nature and to the oneness of all of life, all the living things and the earth. And there's great healing power in that. So just remember that when you're taking care or working with your gemstones, you're tapping into that oneness with the universe, with history, with the earth itself as a living being.
Yes, that's interesting. Because every time I see that card, I have these unicorn cards too. Every time I see that card, I often think of my grandmother, who I'm not related by blood, but instantly, for some reason, like that lineage comes into mind. And she often comes to me in dreams with gemstones.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah. And she has a lot of secrets that she really didn't really share with me in person, but you know, secrets are there, and the secrets of crystals is very locked in and connected to our history, our where we come from, or what is the truth. The crystals have been there, you know, are there. They also show how we're very alchemical beings. Crystals are really connected to that ancient wisdom of what's in our DNA. So we're going to go into our meditation and connect with and bless all our ancestors that are connected to us by blood or by nurturing in somehow, and to feel at peace with this wisdom and come into a place of unity, and just cleanse the karma. Let the karma cleanse itself, you know, allow the crystals to cleanse the lineage. And all right, so let's go into it, shall we? So allow your body to relax and feel your connection to your crystals and how they are your family and your friends. And even if you don't own any crystals, just feel connections to all the crystals that are in the earth and how your energy knows that they are full of information. So let your body relax and allow yourself to gradually receive this information. Just allow your body, your heart, your mind to be at peace and know that you're receiving the truth from crystals in energy right now. So you can tap in with them anytime. So let us tap into them, for they are like grandparents to us. When we're sitting in the sweat lodge and they bring in the stones, they call them grandmother, grandfather. And all of the pieces of earth hold so much information, and we are really divine beings, and they remind us that. So let us pick one of our favorite crystals that makes us feel, I'm choosing the selenite, well, even if you don't own it, just tap into one crystal. Choose one crystal right now. I'm feeling amethyst too. Allow your mind to just let go of overthinking it and just let these information light coming from the crystals, because they love you so much, like a true grandparent ought to love you. They never will fail you. Let their information gradually drip feed right into you now, and feed and nurture you in a way that's comforting, just like when you think of grandmas or grandpas. It's that comfort, the truth, caring for your nature. Let it just sizzle through your body, just dissolving anything that you don't need, and dissolving anything that feels false worry. Dissolve all worry and stress. Just let it do its thing and reconnect with you in this light of the crystal. As you do this, walk forward into your day, and walk forward knowing that you're really living in a crystal cave of energy and light, and you have unlimited resources available to you. Crystals will walk with you, and you can turn this off and continue for a few minutes in this radiant light vision of truth with the crystals and our connection to them, and also to honor the elders who may have forgotten about crystals in this life, but to notice their eternal spirit knows more. And sometimes elders, they open up and they'll tell you things, and sometimes they won't. But to always acknowledge that crystal light affects everyone. Then you can always tap into that wavelength to attempt to at least be at peace. If not, communicate a lot better even.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna say, have a beautiful day today. So this is melijewelmagic.com. You can visit Melijewel. Her Instagram is melijewelmagic. We have the links in the bottom. And she has a website, melijewelmagic.com, where she also has courses. Now, don't doubt your psyche. You can develop your psyche. If you feel insecure about doing your own readings, you don't know how, but you find it interesting at all, you can learn to do card readings. She has a video course in there that's really simple and easy to get you feeling a little more confident of how you have psychic abilities that you can develop, as well as dream interpretation. And don't worry, you can always have readings done by people who have been doing professionally for years. Whoever you're attracted to get a reading from, get a reading from. Play with your friends, do readings, give readings, and she's got a couple great courses. One is dream interpretation, because she also does dream interpretation if you want to get a reading from her, right? But you can go right into her website and check everything out. She has her books available there as well. And did I leave anything out?
I think that was everything. Oh, the YouTube channel as well.
Oh yeah, we both have YouTube channels. Hers is Melijewel Magic, and yeah.
So if you want to connect with Venus, you can connect with her at sparklebalm.com for healing oils. And if you live in the Vancouver area, you could get a massage, a healing massage from her, and I highly recommend it. It'll be an amazing experience. She also has an Instagram page at Angel Oracle Psychic on Instagram. And her YouTube right here is Angel Oracle Online. But as you're mentioning, Venus, if you want a professional reading, you can chat or call Angel Oracle Online for your own true love or self-love psychic reading. So definitely explore those, and all the links are down below if you're interested.
Yes, we have the goods.
Thank you so much for having me on today.
Yeah, wow, I love having you visit. And then I'll come visit you next time.
Awesome. All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Everyone
Bye,
have a wonderful time.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.